All right, just waiting for it to pop up on YouTube. Could take a few minutes here. There we go. So welcome to the Agree to Disagree podcast. I'm your boy EmpireJeff, your host, back with another episode. It's been a minute trying to make up for lost time here. But once again, I've got my co-host here, DJ Deadeye.
Yes, indeed. In the building. Fucking frosty, but
the captain of the Boston Celtics pajama team. So once again, it's a Celtic fan and a Laker fan. I'm about to go back and forth on some of these things. But the reason I bring that up because I think it's a good topic to start with. So, you ever buy something on Amazon, and, they give you like rated 1 through 5 stars. You know what I mean? And you've kind of already gone through that experience. You already made the purchase for Kyrie, right? So being you as a Boston Celtic fan who has lived through that, I kind of want you to give the review of what it was like to have Kyrie Irving on your team as a Celtic fan. I'm gonna let you go for a bit on that because I know you're passionate about that portion of your franchise history. And then I'm going to kind of pick up on some points and try to debate that from a Lakers standpoint. So I'm going to let you go ahead. I'm going to be a gracious host and let you rock first.
No doubt. So like at first it was good, Well, I mean, at first it was weird because immediately Gordon gets hurt. And then I think we lost like the first 2 games. And then we won like 18 in a row or some shit like that. So at first it was kind of crazy. And then he played probably like 60 games. And then he was out. And then the young boys took him to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the next year he was hurt, right? Because he was only there 2 years.
I think he was hurt. He got hurt the second year when you guys the first year you guys went to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, he
Finals.
played like 60 games the first year. He got hurt, and then the young boys went toe to toe with LeBron, yep. And then the second year, right? And then he left, right? He only played 2 years.
Yeah, that's when he kind of
didn't resign. He only had 2 years on his deal. So yeah, he's playing okay at the beginning, but he's getting into mad beef, and he's doing his thing. He's pretty ill with the ball. You already know, and sure. And then like literally by he tells the city he's gonna resign. He tells the team everything's good, forward, blah blah blah. And no lie, by the All-Star game, he had already like checked out mentally and like already had planned his move to Brooklyn. So by the time we get to the playoffs and we're playing Milwaukee, he's like he just quits. You know what I'm saying? And after the first game? I think we won the first game and then we lost the next 5. Oh no, the first 2 games we won. And then he just quit basically. And then they lost 4 in a row, and then he left.
Yeah, and he had pretty much like ghosted everybody in free agency, right? Like he wasn't returning Danny's or anyone in the front office calls, teammates, like nobody.
Yeah, he was out.
So that's
that's by the All-Star break. He had already made up his mind. You feel me?
Because that's when he started thanking Braun and like reaching out to Braun.
You can never pinpoint where his brain was ever.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I remember because he reached out and was like, telling Braun, like, I finally see what it's like to lead, right? And then he was like thanking Braun. That was kind of weird. You know what I mean? That he did that. He was kind of, yeah. And then he was like, there was like that pregame and shoot around. I think they were playing the Knicks, and he was just like, if I come back, and then he was like, we'll wait to see. And then he completely changed his tone from, if you'll have me to if I'll have you, right? And that's kind of how it is with Kyrie, right? Like with him, one day everything is perfect. He's thriving. It's spiritual. It's lovely. And the next day it's like Armageddon with him, right? Like it's over. He doesn't want to be part of the organization. And so it's hard. It's hard to commit to someone like that. So I see where the Nets are coming from.
Hell yeah. I definitely see where the Nets are coming from. They already dealt with him. They spent $139 million on him already, and he's only played like maybe a quarter of the games.
So this is where I think like the Lakers are sitting back and they're just like, okay. Now everyone saw that clip of Rob and Sean Marks at Summer League, and those dudes look like stepbrothers, man. They were like laughing, chilling. They were getting along great. Like they had worked something out, but I think it was kind of along the lines of like, look, we'll see where we are in about 6 months from now. This is what we'll discuss. I got Russ. We don't really want him here. You got Kyrie. We'll see what happens there.
You don't
want him there. Yeah, so it's kind of like a savings account, right? Let's just tuck this away. We'll reach to it when we need it, right? So then like people say this came out of nowhere, and it kind of did. But when they started,
kind of did, only because not even KD knew.
Yeah, but hindsight's 2020, right? When his mom put out that they like submitted to Brooklyn like contract demands or like openly was trying to negotiate prior to the trade deadline, right? That was like a week and a half ago, and I felt when that happened, I was like, that timing is strange because they have until the end of the year to sign that extension. The trade deadline can pass, and that extension could still be signed. So the fact that leaked like a week to a week and a half ago was strange. And then so I didn't like I wasn't like, oh man, he's about to get traded. But I was like, okay, that's interesting, right? And then I was waiting to see Brooklyn's response to that because they put it out there publicly. And then there was just nothing. And then Lakers come to town. You got Bron there, who's make no mistake, has been orchestrating a lot of this.
All day, because he's like, yo, the Lakers ain't gonna do nothing. I gotta force this shit. And he's like, yo, he probably hit up Kyrie on his own and was like, yo, demand it now. That way it forces everybody's hand to make something happen. Especially so the Lakers don't lose Russ for nothing, and that the Nets kind of sort of are forced to get, quote unquote forced. They're not really forced. They don't got to do shit, but they're quote unquote gonna be forced to get rid of him now in the next 6 days.
Well, they're kind of forced to do something if they want something in return of value.
I don't think it matters. I think real talk, like, yes, they want to get something back, but if it comes down to the, midnight, Cinderella about to turn back into the pumpkin type situation, they'll send them to fucking Toronto for like whatever they can get. You know what I'm saying? Like, send them somewhere where it's like, not that they're a bad team, but they're not going nowhere. You feel me? They'll send them somewhere bad. Well,
I mean, if they could get those 2 unprotected picks for him, they'd have. I mean, they're not going to send someone out of spite where they can get those picks.
If they don't make it happen in the next 6 days, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I think they've got to make it happen because, I mean, Kyrie he still has to play for a contract, right? So even if they keep him, it's not like he can go out there and pout and throw a tantrum because he's still trying to prove to people.
I think, real talk, at this point, the Lakers are so desperate that anything he gives them is better than what Westbrook has given them.
I don't know if I
don't think I agree with that, but I think management is at a crossroads where they need to make something happen where the aesthetic is better than the Westbrook aesthetic.
But my thing is, I don't think they're necessarily desperate if their plan was to kind of milk this along until this point anyways. And I think they've done a good job of turning Russ into like a not negative asset. I mean, he's a 6th man of the year candidate. His money is halfway off the books. So I think they were.
He's been their second best player.
Yeah, and I think that they've been catching a lot of flack and taking a lot of heat. But I think if Rob pulls this off or any big move, makes them better, then I think he's gonna kind of redeem himself some. So
I think to be honest with you, I think they've done a good job. Russ has done a good job, right? But I don't think LeBron's satisfied with that shit. You feel what I'm saying?
No, he's never going to be satisfied because
I think behind everyone's back, he's trying to make this happen. So he has at least some type of like closing legacy that's better than what it looks like. You feel me?
Yeah, and I salute my guy LA Sports Live. I see you, man. Appreciate you. So my thing is this, and this is why I think it's interesting with what the Lakers are doing. I think Deadeye cut out there for a second, so I'll just kind of kill time on my own here. But the Lakers can trade for Kyrie. 1 second, let me get Deadeye back in here.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, no, good. I got you back in here. I was stalling. So one point I want to make is the Lakers could trade for Kyrie, and this is what's interesting. If Brooklyn signs him to an extension, they can sign him up to 4 years. If the Lakers trade him, then the Lakers can only sign him for 2 years after the extension. So the Lakers are like, that's only a 2-year risk. So their risk of commitment is less than what Brooklyn's would be. So again, benefits Lakers, right?
Question: Can they can't do sign and trades during the season, right? It has to be on the
Well,
off season.
that's the next point. So that's the point. They could theoretically sign him to the extension and then trade him, because unless I'm missing something, but I know that Miles Turner is eligible to still be traded and he just signed his extension.
Yeah, but I think it's because his there's some quirky thing with his contract.
Okay,
too.
so
it supersedes the rule.
Got you. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure on that. I just know that if they don't extend him, that the max the Lakers could do prior to June 30th would be 2 years. So I think the Lakers are hoping for that.
And the extension is for 4 years only?
Oh, only 2 years. Because he's in a current year. So like Brooklyn can only extend him 4. The Lakers can only extend him 2. So after the trade. So now I don't know.
You know what's wild is that he's trying to go back to the old deal.
Yeah,
he wants the old deal that they proposed that he fucking turned down. He wants that deal again.
Well, I saw that. Was it Haynes or Shams that put out there? They said that they offered him a 4-year deal that was based upon them winning a championship. So it was like he would be held responsible for their winning.
I'm sure that was one of the stipulations, but I'm sure there were other ones, man. Like fucking amount of games played, no inexcused absences. You feel me?
No, I got you. Yo, what's up, BZ? Am I saying that right? BZ, 808. Yeah, the Lakers would definitely get his bird rights if he's traded. But I'm only talking about the extension prior to the offseason. They can only extend him 2 years, which I think the Lakers would want to have that. Because here's the thing. I think 2 years isn't too bad of a commitment when it's coming to Kyrie.
I don't think it's bad either. That's what the Celtics had. Unless he somehow sours in a year like he did here. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you. But what I'm saying is,
I think he will, because they'll have LeBron and shit like that.
Yeah. But my thing is, I think they'd feel more comfortable giving up 2 unprotected picks, knowing that he's at least can't leave this summer. You know what I mean? So
yeah, even then, that's a lot for 2 years.
No, I know, but they've got to do something, because look,
they want to win now. They want to win now.
You've got to move, and you're not just getting Kyrie. You're going to get like a Joe Harris or a Seth Curry or something back as well. So you're going to add some shooting to that. And his timeline, if they can get him on point, lines up directly with AD. So it's like he's the same age as AD. So like that, that's another reason to want to do it.
Yep.
I
think that's definitely one of them that's in there. I think the Heat are kind of desperate to be back relevant, so they might try to do something. I don't know about anybody else that I heard. Maybe the Clippers.
Could you imagine Pat Riley trying to deal with Kyrie? Like, I don't think so. Pat is too eccentric, man. That would drive him nuts. Kyrie is just not. The Heat always talk about the Heat way. But whatever that means or whatever that definition is, it's not Kyrie.
But I also feel like they're sour on the Kyle Lowry shit, so they're trying to make like a splash that way too. You know what I mean? Like,
but they can't top the Lakers 2 picks.
No, I'm sure
they can't top that. And the Clipper thing is, I don't think the Clippers are real. I think the Clippers get someone like Lowry or Conley and maybe Van Vliet if the Lakers end up with Kyrie. But I think the Clippers are trying to sit back and wait to see what happens with KD. I don't think they want Kyrie. Now, they'll try to drive the price up for sure on the Lakers, but I don't think they have Clippers. Yeah, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not in that locker room.
I feel like they just need a point guard. I feel like they just need a point guard to like run that shit, because it's like my turn, your turn type shit.
Yeah, like Lowry would be fine for them, because he still.
I think Van Vliet would be ill.
He would be, but he'd be more expensive. I'm talking about if they just want someone to run the show. Conley, Conley. Your man Danny Ainge would love to probably move that contract, and so.
Oh, for sure.
So, and he'd be great with the Clippers, and you know what I mean.
And they'd give him something back, because that team's chock full of motherfuckers that could play.
They are, and they're all within 12 and like 18 million. So like the Clippers are put together brilliantly from a perspective of easy to move those players. Yep. But like I said, I don't think anyone's like kicking the door down to get them. So like if you compared the Clipper deal to the Lakers deal, I still take the Lakers picks over like a Norman Powell, Reggie Jackson, for the simple fact that because if you move KD and you move Kyrie, what's the point of having those guys? You know what I mean?
I think KD is moved. If not this summer, the fall before the start of next year.
Yeah, so like it would be
Unless they get something amazing back for Kyrie where he's like, all right, cool, I could work with this.
Yeah. So, and then they would still have other pieces to go, right? So,
I feel like KD should just stay there. That should just be his shit.
maybe,
It's like sync with the shit, bro. Fuck it.
nah, he's not a
Yo,
sync with
all
the
they
shit
need
type
is
of
some
guy.
comparable. If they got some comparable players around him, they're contenders.
Yeah, but Brooklyn might also be thinking like, look, so KD is often injured too, right? So they may just be thinking like another year or two, like you might not be able to move him, right? And you can cash in on him now, cash in with Kyrie. You may have to use some of those picks you get just to move Ben, right? After that. So now your decks are cleared.
That's the worst thing they ever did was
well, I got you, but it's like so I'm stuck with trying to help me figure this out, right? Because I'm stuck at that point where it's like they don't want to tank because they don't get their pick. That's going to H-Town, right?
Yep.
But at the same time, you don't want to be middle of the pack anyways. You know what I mean? So if you can get picks for KD, picks for Kyrie, maybe use some of those picks to move Ben. You can't worry about those Houston picks at this point because they're gone already. You're going to let that dictate your whole future because what it's going to do for them and not you. Like, I wouldn't operate that way. You know what I mean?
I feel like the Nets are just they're kind of a little bit obsessed with being the team in New York. So yeah. they're more inclined to try to win now and be relevant now than try to build it out, or even have one of those like scrappy teams like they had that was good. You know what I'm saying? But they fucked it all up when they traded LeVert and Dinwiddie and all those
yeah, I like that team.
That team was mad good.
Yeah, they were good. And I like
Jared
their coach
Allen.
too.
They had a squad, yo.
Yeah, they did.
They fucked it all up.
Now the only thing, and BZ, I'll get to your comment in a second. So the only thing they're kind of like the East Coast version of the Clippers, right? They want to outshine the Knicks. It's never going to happen. They'll probably be a better team than the Knicks, but they're never going to have the market share, right? Same as the Clippers out here. If the Clippers just focused on not trying to top the Lakers and just focused on their brand, they'd be further along, I think. It's kind of weird. It's a weird obsession. I think people think that Lakers are obsessed with the Clippers or the Clippers bug them. It's not really the case. I don't think about the Clippers that much. You know what I mean? But it's like, they're just obsessed with like beating us in the preseason, beating us in the regular season, which they've dominated us. I got no problem like admitting that. But at the end of the day, like if they just focused on them and stopped trying to like block our trades or steal headline this and that, like they'd be much further along in my opinion. And that's why sometimes I look at the Clippers and it's like they're so smart, they're stupid kind of in a way, you know, because they build a team, they're good, but then they don't make any, like they keep building on set. They've needed a point guard for like 4 years. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they thought I think they thought like Reggie Jackson would be that guy. Then they thought probably John Wall was going to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? And they're just not floor organizers. They're more like just let me get a shot up type dudes.
Yeah, but bro, they swore, like, bro, I'm telling you, out here when they traded for Rondo, like the Clippers thought they had like a three-peat. I think
even the analysts and everybody thought that too. It was mad funny.
No, I get it, but we had you know. We had seen Rondo. We'd watched that. He'd been playing that year. He hadn't been playing that good. He'd already started to decline,
he was fucking old.
Yeah, he was dipping. So, BZ. So you mentioned about would you go after Jerry Trent Jr. also? And I think Gary. They would. I think Gary Trent Jr. and Van Vliet are the fallback option. Now I don't know if you're asking about if they go after him after getting Kyrie. They could still technically get him with Lonnie and Pat in a deal, but it would depend on if what draft compensation Toronto wanted on top of that. They would use all their firsts up, and they'd have to be, willing to take similar to the Rui deal, maybe like Pat Bev and Lonnie Walker for and a couple of seconds. If Toronto's with that, I can see the Lakers doing that deal. But I don't know if you meant like in lieu of the Kyrie deal or after like the Kyrie deal. So, but back to my point of, I don't think they're going to keep KD if in the event of all this. I think they're just done with this project. Like I think it's.
I'm not sold on that because if Durant didn't know that Kyrie was gonna do this, he might be more on the side of the management on it. And as long as they do good by him, like I'm saying, if they trade him and they get something good back, or they commit to being like, yo, look, this guy sucks, but we're gonna get some other pieces here to make it work at least for the next. We'll try. You know, he might stay one extra year. You feel me?
Yeah. So he said,
where they would try to make something happen to make it work. You feel me?
Yeah. Okay. So he's
And then
saying after
maybe,
the.
and then if they have to trade him when he has 2 years left on his deal, where they could get something better, than 1 year.
I think his value goes down as he gets older and less team control, right? So I think like
For
Kyrie
sure.
had,
But I feel like if he's still putting up 30 points a game, motherfuckers are gonna be like, no doubt, like it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It's a fair point, and each GM doesn't operate the same, right? There may be one who maybe didn't want him on a 4-year deal.
There's more desperate GMs than there are not desperate GMs.
Yeah. And let me see, BZ, you're saying after the Kyrie deal. Okay, yeah. So they could definitely still go after Gary Trent Jr. I just, like I said, I don't know if Toronto is expecting a first for him. But like I said, Lonnie Walker, Patrick Beverley, the math works. And then it's just if Toronto would take seconds. Me personally, I would do that deal in a second.
One random KD scenario that I heard that was mad funny and mad intriguing and is mad possible is fucking OKC's like, yo, here's a few picks, give us KD. They get KD. Now they got a bunch of young guys in KD.
yeah. I mean, I thought about that.
Yo, like back in that shit. Chet, him, fucking Gritty, and SGA. What?
Yeah, but but then Brooklyn will probably want some of those players.
Bunch of those young tough guys on that bench. They got a few.
No, they
got mad picks.
They're a fun team to watch. They got a ton of picks. They've spent some
they're
money,
but formidable in maybe like 2 years.
But even the guys they spent money on are movable. Like if they put SGA on the block, people would fall over themselves. Lou Dort, people would love to get him. No. What I'm saying is like I guess what I'm trying to say is they've positioned themselves so well to do whatever they want. It's just a matter of
that's what I'm saying.
If players would want to sign there, so the best way to do it is to trade for him, like they did Paul George.
Shit, or just draft ill niggas. They got enough, and then move those guys.
Yeah, no,
yo, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Utah's gonna be like that soon, though.
Yeah, and OKC is definitely loaded with picks. You see, well, I mean, I'm gonna talk to you about that because you're obviously a guy to talk about that because you've watched Danny and you're a really big Danny Ainge exec fan, right? So you've always loved how we watch.
He gets it done. He's not flawless. His armor is not Teflon, but he definitely gets more good than bad.
Well, that man is definitely committed. And secondly,
people kind of crap on his drafting, but he's done a pretty amazing job at that too.
Well, when it comes to him drafting,
track record's pretty good.
No. Well, I would kind of compare his draft record to a home run hitter. He's going to strike out, but he's going to catch one. You know what I mean? He's going to send one over. He's going to send one. Yeah. And so when you're swinging for the fences, you're going to strike out. You know what I mean? But when you connect, all day. And one thing I will give Danny some credit on is that if you're going to swing so much, he made it to where he got so many first round picks he could afford to miss until he landed. So the math works when you stop those picks.
For every Kelly Olynyk where he could have got Giannis, he got Jaylen Brown and JT. So
yeah, no doubt. Robert Williams, Robert
Williams.
Yeah, so he hasn't. So, but my thing with him is, and correct me if I'm wrong on this one, is there's kind of this narrative that teams don't want to trade with him because he won't do a deal unless he gets fleeced, and unless he fleeces
unless he's winning.
Yeah. Now, I will say there are times where I think he did do that, but the deal he did with the Lakers was very fair. You know what I mean? The Pat Bev for THT deal.
Yeah, I think he does more of those than the other ones, but it's just that his track record's so like accurate with the other ones, the other big deals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like his Wikipedia, right? He did those deals, but they don't look at the other,
the little deals. He does more of those than most.
Yeah,
but the big ones are the ones that get the headlines because he wins those more than it looks like he lost those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts. And LA Sports Live. I actually was going to bring this up, so I'm happy you mentioned this. It says that Dallas has a ton of picks. Dallas is one of the teams that are linked to Kyrie, but I don't think he goes there for a couple of reasons. So tell me if you
I'm not agree. A fan of that. That would be terrible for Luka.
So here's the thing:
him and Luka would beef.
That's my point. So what I'm getting at is it's a fit. Well, let me back up. I said this about halfway through last season. and I'm always right sometimes, right? So I mean, like, I said this a lot last year. I was pretty convinced of this. I kept saying that, Dallas, enjoy Jalen Brunson while you have him, because even though you can offer him more money, he's leaving because he wanted the ball in his hands. He wanted to run his own show, and he's earned the right to. So like Brunson, I think Kyrie and Luka fit skill wise. I just don't think they fit personality wise. And that's why I don't see it happening. I don't see Dallas wanting to commit to him long term. Could you imagine trying to build something that's going to convince Luka to stay with you like Dirk, and your move is Kyrie Irving? Like that's your
not even all that, right? Just imagine all that on top of Kyrie Irving and Mark Cuban trying to negotiate.
Yeah, it will be crazy. So I don't think Dallas is in on it. Like I don't think Dallas is in on Kyrie. They mentioned Phoenix. I don't think Brooklyn.
I think they're done with Chris Paul. I think they're done with Chris Paul, and they're trying to make a move for the future. But I don't think that's it either.
I don't think Brooklyn does that deal. I think Phoenix would do that deal. But because they're stuck with Chris's money that time anyways. But I don't think Brooklyn does that deal. So that just leaves, like I said, I don't see Pat Riley tolerating Kyrie. I don't see Luka and Kyrie meshing personality wise, and I don't see Brooklyn wanting CP3. So
I think if you got CP3 with KD and you still got some shooting, that's all right. I think KD's like, all right, cool. Let's see what they do next. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't
not that Chris Paul is even on the level of Kyrie, but especially right now, he's like a walking mannequin. But I think his assisting will help Brooklyn facilitate that. I feel like they have better players than Phoenix. It's just that they have a killer in Booker. You know what I'm saying? And they got Cam, and they got Bridges, and they got an Ayton. So they got good pieces. But I feel like the whole of Brooklyn is better than Phoenix. It's just that they got their shit kind of a little bit more together.
But my thing is this: like, at the end of the day, CP3 is essentially like AD injury wise with little man syndrome. He's like AD with little man syndrome. You know what I mean? So
and it's like done. Like he's done. He's like 38.
So again, you have a chance to get 2 unprotected first round picks if that's the offer. I'm assuming here. If that's the offer, which probably would have to be.
I think it's the 2 picks and like and other Russ. Players. It's like
I'm talking about all you would have to do is we don't have to move other players. The math. Russ is 47 mil. So you only got to get within 20%. So my thing is this is like it's value of the value of that trade to Brooklyn would be the picks. Russ would just be for the salary. I don't even think if it's not a 3-team deal and it's just Brooklyn and LA, I think Russ gets bought out and goes wherever he goes, right? So, however, I want to mention this real quick. LA Sports Live. I'll get to your suggestion in a second. One thing I want to mention is there's been 3 kind of rumors that kind of hung around all season in regards to the Lakers, and they don't fully make sense, but they've been out there enough, and now they kind of make sense. And that's Charlotte. We talked about Utah and San Antonio. These 3 teams have been in like standby mode for a 3-team trade for Russ like all year. So I could see Russ going to one of those teams, Brooklyn getting compensation, whatever from one of those teams, and however the draft picks sort out. But I could tell you this: San Antonio has to make a big money move, because in order for them to benefit from that tax money, they're below that. They're below, like, so if you're over the cap a certain amount, you pay, but you got to be you got to be a certain distance away from the floor to receive that money, and the Spurs aren't above that floor yet. So when the tax gets paid this year, San Antonio is not receiving any of that unless they take on a significant amount of money. So they're sitting back willing to take Russ more than likely for that. So Russ maybe not even touch down in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? I think Danny will do the same thing because he's not even fully committed to winning this year. It's not
like he's gonna win with Russ on the team anyway.
No, exactly. But Russ has had too much beef with Utah fans, bro, for him to ever play up there.
That too, yeah. I mean, he wouldn't want to play there anyway, or San Antonio. He'd be asking for a buyout immediately.
So I'm gonna answer.
And then he might just walk away because, like, who the fuck's picking that up?
Yeah, exactly. So this is a good point. I don't think it's gonna happen. But he's asking about New Orleans for Kyrie.
I know they want something just as insurance for Zion not playing ever.
No, I guess so. I didn't think of them when all this was going around. So that's a good point. LA Sports Live. They weren't one of the teams that crossed my mind. I haven't seen them being mentioned in any reports either.
They have good players on the bench too.
They got good players. To make that money work, they'd have to give. I don't know if like Brooklyn would probably want like a Brandon Ingram. I don't see them moving. Doing that.
No.
I don't. And again, it just all comes back to my thing of I don't see teams giving up young players of value for Kyrie in a contract year. Like I don't see it. This is why I can only see the Lakers when it comes down to this, because it's a perfect match. Like the Nets need to get rid of him for something. He's leveraging them. The Lakers need to get him for what they have available. And it benefits both sides. 2 unprotected firsts going to Brooklyn. They're not going to get that anywhere else. And the Lakers get essentially, everyone says LeBron's not a closer. I'm not doing that debate right now. But if that is their side of the debate, well, then you got another closer. You know what I mean? If he's on the court and playing, you know what I mean? Kyrie, we can all agree what he can do at the end of ball games is impressive. So
yeah, not even end the ball games all the whole time.
Yeah, but it's just
his commitment in his brain is just the issue. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, if in a vacuum, if you saw this dude and just you didn't know anything about the person, and you watched him hoop, he's just one of the most skilled we've ever seen, if not the most skilled we've ever seen in a point guard, So but with that comes baggage. And that's kind of the whole purpose of all this, right? And being that you've already been there, front and center. And not only that, you moved on, he went back, he stomped on Lucky. Like he was disrespectful in his return. He saged. I didn't even catch that. Then when he did the sage on the sign, how that was Tommy's side, right?
Yeah, it was like where the announcers were. So like Tommy's area.
Yeah. So that's I didn't pick up on that. You know what I mean? That's you have
then
to be
the middle fingers and all that is
Yeah.
But it's funny, he hasn't won a game since he stomped on Lucky.
No, you're right. And my only thing is this. And I wasn't a really big believer on this, and I used to challenge you on this all the time, but I'm gonna have to admit you might be right on this one. Which doesn't feel good to admit. But he doesn't play good against the Celtics. So if let's say the Lakers and Celtics make it to the finals, right? And the Lakers, getting Kyrie makes them a finals threat. I think we can both agree to that. So, yeah. So for me, like if the Lakers face the Celtics in the finals and Kyrie has a history of not playing well against them since he left them, that is a whole nother level of interest there. So let's see what the chat here. I don't think Nets want CJ. Yeah, I don't think the Nets. Well, it's not about them not wanting him. CJ's one of the best players to ever play to not make an All-Star game. So I mean, I think that
he made one. Didn't
he? Did make one? Okay, I thought he didn't make one.
I thought he made one. I thought he made one.
Okay, I might be wrong on that. But again, I don't think teams are giving up anything of value for Kyrie and CJ. Since they've got CJ, is kind of where they took off. I know New Orleans is kind of in the bag right now. They lost 10 in a row. Like they've won one of the last 14 games.
They're still in the mix though. It's still early.
Well, the Lakers play them tomorrow, and they're going to play like they're in the finals tomorrow.
Yeah, they're missing too many motherfuckers. The Lakers should win that game.
But damn, did CJ really? Why can I remember that? That's crazy.
I feel like he
was like a fill-in, right? Like an injury replacement.
He was a reserve, right? Or a reserve
replacement.
A replacement. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That I can see. I know he wasn't voted in, but by a starter or the coaches. So my bad. Got his big old head. Yep. Sometimes I lose information.
It was something like that, but it was like a couple years ago. It was like I don't know, like 3 years ago, maybe more.
So when you go down that path, right? Would you agree that there's really not a ton of options for Kyrie? Like
not at all. There wasn't a lot of options for him when he when he demanded the shit last year. There was no options. It was just the Lakers situation, but they were tied and they didn't want to get rid of the picks, and you know what I'm saying.
And I think it was worse.
And now, it was worse. But now they figured out what to do with Russ, so now they kind of made him a good commodity. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think the Lakers are in this weird space when it comes to Russ because I think Darvin Ham was told, like, make this guy, we got to make this guy tradable, right? I think that was their plan in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? How could we make this guy tradable?
Was to put him on the bench.
Yeah. So, but the problem was they started doing it right, and then I think like the Lakers struggles is now Darvin Ham has become so kind of obsessed with that relationship of fixing Russ that it's kind of not working with the rest of the team because he's so focused on that relationship that he's leaving him as parts of the game where he shouldn't be. The whole purpose of putting him on the bench was to let him rock when those other guys weren't in there, so he can kind of hold us afloat when Braun was out.
And also to what do they call that when they put one dude in, they take him out, then they put the other guy. What do they call that?
Yeah.
What's the word they use? They got this
situational, word. like situational substitutions.
Yeah. So they couldn't have him and Braun on the floor at the same time,
or at least not like in crucial parts of the game, right? So like to start the game and the end of a game. But now it's in that weird situation where you've got him on the bench.
Basically, it was like, yo, if he was in the game with Braun, he was just sitting in the corner because he wasn't bringing the ball up.
Yeah.
Feel me? So then staggered. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, staggered. There you go. Staggered. But then like when you have him in at the end of the game, you're kind of defeating the purpose of having him come off the bench to begin with to create that separation. So that's where the problem is. So it's like if you got a guy tying up that much money, and you can't even really trust to play him at the end of games. So you got to move that for like 2 or 3 pieces. If it's not Kyrie, then like that Toronto deal of a Van Vliet, Trent Jr. Like I love that deal as a backup plan. If that's, something that they could pull off. Nets are in a tough position. They really don't have much leverage. I don't know. I don't, from my perspective, I don't see it. Some people
think real talk, the only deal that makes sense for the Nets would be the Laker deal. I just don't know who else is in the sweepstakes besides the ones that leak. You know what I'm saying? Because by the end of the, whoever's going to get, I don't know how desperate the Nets are to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? I know they want to get something for him before he walks anyway, but they weren't going to re-sign him anyway. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going to, but I keep coming back to the fact that if the offer is Russ and 2 unprotected picks and you're going to, and let's say it's a 2-team deal and you release Russ, he gets picked up, that whatever he gets picked up for, eats into the money that you did the buyout for as well. So you could save a little money there too. So I just, if the offer is 2 unprotected first round picks and Russ for Kyrie, they have to take that deal, bro. Because they're going to let him walk and turn away 2 unprotected first round picks like for nothing.
Of course. I think if that's the deal, that's the only deal on the table at the end of the day, they'll probably take it. Yeah, because they kind of want to be done with this guy as long as, I think in the next 5-6 days, they're just going to have serious conversations with KD.
Yeah, for sure.
And then go from there. Because I think the conversations with this dude are kind of done, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, Haynes said that like when it came out that they put those stipulations in that contract extension offer, he basically come back and said, look, I won't take that even if you offer me a max. Like, we're done. Like type of thing, right? If that's kind of where he's at right now. So if that's where he's at right now, he's not going to sign it. They're going to lose him for nothing. I don't know. I just don't see them having anything that they could really do.
Yeah, I don't see them trying to get nothing. Yeah, it's a tough situation.
The next part of it is you could kind of tell where a GM's mind state is about how he makes a deal, right? Because guys who make deals to kind of panic deals to fix right here, right now, are guys that are like looking to save their job this year. They're not it's like, they're like, the next guy will have to clean this up, right? Kind of like what Kupchak did when he did that Mozgov and Deng stuff, right? So it's like, but a guy who makes moves that gets draft picks that don't benefit him for 4, 5, 6, whatever years, that's a guy who's planning for the future, right? And it seems like he's aligned with his owner and he's not making deals to save him this year. Like that's a guy that appears to have a plan. So if they make that deal, then it's like, that's what tells me that it's going to be a whole teardown and KD's next.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely definitely see that as a possibility for sure. If they don't try to salvage what they have with KD, you know what I'm saying? If it sours in the next few days and they know kind of like what the future holds, then bam, they'll just tear it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. So if the Lakers pull off that deal, would where do you think that puts them?
They're in like 13th now.
yeah, but they're like 3 games back of 4. It's all bunched up. I'm
gonna
get to that in a second.
Because the Clippers were just like out of it, and people were like, "Yo, they're so disappointing," and then now they're in 4th place. So I was like, "Yo, this is crazy."
Yeah, they're all like piling.
If they do make that deal, they could probably get in the top 5. I just don't know how, because you got Kyrie on your thing, but he sucks on defense like badly. So yes, it helps your offense, but it kind of hurts your defense a little bit because Russ could at least defend.
Yeah, but I feel like if you got a healthy AD, your defense automatically improves. Their defense, like I think they've got some fundamental parts for defense.
As long as I feel like if you get Kyrie, right, you got to put Pat Bev in the game with him at all times. That way he holds down you know what I'm saying? He overcompensates for the lack of defense on his side. And then you put AD in and Braun, and who's the other starter?
It's been getting mixed. Rui's been starting, Schroeder's been starting. So
I like Schroeder. I like the 3-guard shit. It's because what's Pat Bev play? Small forward.
He's no. Pat Bev's a point guard who plays 2 guards wings, but he's a small like they got him out here guarding wings though. It's just not. It's not what he does. So it's
yeah. That's why they got Rui though.
Yeah, no, that was a great pickup, and that was an under the radar pickup. So that's what I'm saying. The Lakers moves are typically in silence. Like it's really quiet, and then it comes up. Those leaks typically never come out of LA. That's why when you see them actually make a trade, it's not. It's not from there. So on that side, you guys are rocking in the East. You guys, put a smackdown on Brooklyn the other day. That was crazy.
Yeah, front and center. Kyrie's terrible leadership skills.
Yeah, and now you got Milwaukee. I think like Milwaukee, that was a good game with the Clippers last night. They're 2 games behind you, so they're right on you.
Yeah, we're playing. Let
me see here. What do you guys got next? Yeah, you still there? We lose you. All right, we think we might have lost him there. But that's why that game with the Celtics was brutal, because that was like our 3rd or 4th game where we kind of got screwed over, and the refs didn't make the right call at the end of the game. We've all talked about this forever. Lakers did get that one makeup call essentially against Memphis. That was a foul on Schroeder. They didn't call it, but so you get sometimes that goes in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah, it is what it is. They fuck up like mad calls every game, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Warriors have been screwed so many times. Like they have it worse than us. Like did you see that the other night? Like Steph went up for a 3, he gets bumped like and gets knocked to like the stands, and then he just like sits in the chair, doesn't even get up. Like he just stays there. He's like, really? Like it was that I don't know her name. It's that one female ref that's been like, she's been at a rough patch the last like 2 weeks.
Oh, I know you're talking about the black girl or the white girl.
Yeah, no, it's a white girl. She's been like, she got roughed in like a few times. Like, and I was like, Braun was giving her stuff the other day. I was like, dude, this chick she's definitely not working the playoffs. So
yeah, no, for sure not. We're playing Phoenix right now. We came back. We was down 20. And
what's the score?
I think we're down 4 now.
Oh yeah. Phoenix just isn't the same team they've been. I know Booker's been out, but
they're just like a flawed team. They got a bunch of like meh guys, like okay, like
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They
play over their potential.
Yeah, every team benefits every year. Any team that makes it deep at some point benefits off of injuries to another team. You know, every year. You know, you got to be just as lucky as good sometimes. But I think Phoenix was just that team that never should have been there to begin with, and because they literally
they played their. That was the ceiling of that squad,
and they played every single hurt team. It's like eventually that was going to be, their luck was going to come too. So when you go and you got these guys that are over there, I don't think these guys, like, I've never really been a fan of Ayton. I felt like he's basically manufactured by CP3. Like he can't get his own Ayton, their center.
Oh yeah,
So,
I think he'll be all right on a different squad. He hasn't played with nobody. He got drafted there. That's all he knows. You know what I'm saying?
But he needs a point guard. Like he can't. Like he's not gonna.
I feel like he needs a point guard. He also needs he needs shooters.
Yeah, well, every team.
He can only do so much. He don't have no moves.
Oh, I got you. But I just think like I think so that they're slipping. I don't think New Orleans can't seem to stay healthy. They may.
I think they're gonna blow it up. I think they're gonna blow it up and try to build around Booker again.
Yeah, well, I think they almost tried to. They considered blowing it up last summer because Ayton signed the, was what they didn't want to pay him.
They couldn't get no free agents for mad long. So when they got Booker and he was good, but the team sucked, their big move was to get CP3.
Yeah,
which worked for them. They got to the finals. They fucking, they overachieved and shit. But
man, when CP got traded away from Houston, so many people thought he was done. Like so many people thought he was done. He had that good year in OKC, and then he's been solid ever since. But this year he just doesn't look the same.
Who?
CP. Like he was.
Yeah, he's just done. I seen him the other day though. Do some ill move just to get to his spot. He's a master. If he would be a little bit more aggressive, he could still average maybe like 16, 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because he knows how to create space for himself, like old school guys, like not like Jordan, but like those guys that like they could always get they shot off. Who was good at that was like Pierce. Pierce would be like, all right, cool. I can't get this three. I can't get by this guy, but I can back him down and get to my elbow shot and hit it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was that? Who was the one that one play where he was talking trash to a guy like the whole time? And then
Al Harrington.
Yeah, and he just coming up like the left side. He just dribbled and just tell him, and he just got right to his spot, and he hit it. I give Paul Pierce the dude a lot of shit because he asked for it. But
I love. Yeah, he knows it though. He knows it.
No, but the hooper, yeah. I mean, I give him his props as a hooper though. Yeah,
but you cannot not get that kid his.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I have a lot of fun talking about Paul Pierce, the dude. But dude, the other day, dude, you can't. He looked straight out of New Jack City courtside the other day. That dude, what is he doing? Like, but he is.
He's good in there. He's home. He's in his house. He's wearing pajamas, bro. He's good. You seen that Savvy the Amusing thing? He does the voiceovers and shit.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Nah.
He's on Instagram. You'll love him.
Yeah.
He's like a LeBron fanatic. He's like a LeBron fanatic. So all his stuff, he always got LeBron in there. You know what I mean? But it's pregame, and it's LeBron walking up to Paul because Paul's on the floor with the pajama pants, and he voice overs the shit. Yo, it's so. I'll tag you in. I'll send it to you on the gram.
Okay, yeah, because
shit's hilarious.
But
he's like, I'm LeBron James, Paul Pierce. Them pajamas ugly.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and they did a couple other players, right? Like he walked up to him first, and then he did to someone like when LeBron went to the side after the non-foul call, and they were doing voiceovers to that one too. Yeah, I saw it.
He's like, I'm LeBron James. He's like, that's just a foul. That's just hilarious.
Yeah, I hadn't seen, I hadn't seen him before that, but I did see that one.
Yo, he what was the new one? It was LeBron walking up to it was the Pelicans game, and he was walking up to somebody after they beat him. Oh no, my bad. It was the Knicks game. And he's talking to Julius Randle. He's like, oh, he grew some dread since you've been on the Lakers, huh?
Okay, yeah. Okay,
and then Obi Toppin tries to pat LeBron. He goes, who the hell touched my ass?
All right, I gotta check that out.
Yo, son, I'll tag you so you can follow him because he got mad LeBron shit. That shit is hilarious.
Nah, no, I'll check it. So before we get out of here, I just want to see. So when it comes to the East, because I mean that's your side of town. That's your side of the the conference.
Yes, indeed.
Anyone in the East scare you? And I know you think your team can go all the way, but is there any team that you're like, damn, that would be tough?
There's a couple teams that I think in the end will be there. I think Boston's one of them, obviously. I think Milwaukee's the other one. I'm not sure about the Sixers because they got James Harden, who's choke artist #1, and they got Joel Embiid, who's second round exit, extraordinaire. So I'm not sure about those guys. But I tell you, the sleeper squad that I think is going to make mad noise in the playoffs is Cleveland.
Yeah. They defend well. They've had a rough stretch lately.
They defend well, but in the in the playoffs, there's a lot of half court. They got a killer. They got a dope point guard. They got ample centers. They got veteran leadership. They got a dope coach. They got good culture. Like the place is gonna be packed during the playoffs. So I feel like they can make noise, yo.
Donovan rocks in the playoffs, man.
And yo, if they line up with Philly, that's a crazy series right there.
Yeah, that would be. I think about Philly is, I think Philly, man. I might regret saying this because I never say this about them because I feel the same way you are. They feel a little different this year. So I was just looking at this was a couple of games ago, and this might not be current. But I always like to look because it's typically the team that wins a title is usually someone that's top 10 offense, top 10 defense, and top 10 in lowest turnovers. Typically that's how it goes, right?
Yep.
And
so he's got to work on turnovers.
yeah. So it's like surprisingly enough, Philly checks the boxes on all of them there. And what surprised me, because it's funny thing was I wasn't looking at it for Philly. That's not what I was looking for. They just popped up. They ended up being the result. But I was looking to see like where Denver was, right? Because I'm like, what are they like? So I was looking at Denver, and Denver's in none of those categories. Like absolutely none. Like all the logic of anything you look at that defines a champion on paper, they're not in. So that's it is.
Good.
They are. But again, this might have been 2 or 3 games ago. So some of those teams have moved a little bit. But even at that point of the season, it still shocked me. So then I was like, okay, so when you go back and look at it, starters missed games, like yada yada. That's why all those teams that are like 4 through 13 in the West are all the teams that have had some type of load management issue or injury issue. That's why they're all kind of packed together, right? And Denver's for the most part have had their guys. So they're playing.
They've had their guys, but their guys have been coming back from shit, so it's been a little slower.
Yeah. But Joker, their main dude, has been there.
Oh, Joker's killing it. But Jamal Murray's playing good the last month. He's playing really good, and even in MPJ still kind of trying to get his shit together.
Now, do you know in this age-old debate of Joker versus Embiid? I know you're team Joker, right? You take Joker over Embiid every time.
I would probably take Joker 6 out of 10 times.
Oh wow! Okay, I thought
I had you like a 7 or 8. You might convince me to take Embiid 4 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Just because 1, the points, 2, the stretching of the floor, the dominance at the free throw line and down low.
When they played head to head,
he's a good passer, underrated.
Yeah, but when they played the other, last weekend, Joel was. Oof. But
I don't know the circumstances of that game. Was it back to back for Denver?
Yeah, it was close. It was a close game. And
Joel, was it a back to back game? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That I'm not sure. That I'm not sure. And then you make a good point. You always got to look at that because when it's a team that's, the team that's been home for 3 days and versus a team that's on a back-to-back on the road,
how many games and how many nights, you know what I'm saying?
Are you load managing? Are you not? That's why when you look at these games, and I hate that the regular season doesn't matter as much as it used to because you see it sometimes.
I mean, half the losses the C's got are to sub 500 teams that somebody was sitting out, somebody was hurt, somebody was, maybe more than one was not playing because of being hurt. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. We lost 3 out of 4 to Orlando. You know what I'm saying? And
you always have that
Orlando one matches up good because they got young guys who can put the ball in the basket. So it makes our guys have to work. So that's one thing. And two, usually it's like a back-to-back with Orlando, Miami, or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like Charlotte, Miami, or Charlotte, Orlando, or some type of back-to-back situation where like Al's not playing, or Robert Williams ain't playing, or you know what I'm saying? So it's a skewed view.
And you know this too. You always have that one team that just always plays you well, even if they suck. Like,
yeah, we got 3 teams that just, the matchup is just not that it's not good on our part, but it's a challenge.
Toronto is always one of them with you guys.
Yeah, but recently we've been beating that ass. Probably like the last like 2 or 3 years.
But there was a stretch where it was like Toronto just always got you guys.
3 squads are Milwaukee, obviously.
Yeah.
Chicago, for some reason, that matchup is just whack for us. Orlando is another one, and Detroit. They're just like big teams and a lot of wings and like some guys that can just put the ball in the basket, and it's just an annoyance. You know, you have to constantly work on both ends.
Yeah. Orlando was always like that with us too.
Yeah, like Banchero is just a nightmare to guard, bro.
Yeah, and you know it is when not that you guys are a veteran team, but you're an established team, and when you get these guys that whole team is diving for every loose ball, you're like, come on, man.
Yeah, and then they got Wagner, they got Suggs, they got is Suggs there? No, what's the guy? What's the guy?
There. I'm happy for
Anthony. These guys could put the ball in the basket.
I'm happy for Fultz, man. I know he didn't end up what he was supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm happy for him too. I'm happy he went there and got good because he wouldn't have lasted in either one of the first 2 markets he went to.
Yeah. I didn't root for him prior, but once all that went down and he got traded, I've been rooting for that kid ever since. He beat us one time too.
Once he was in Philly's hands, I was like, fuck that kid. I was shitting on him, you know what I'm saying? Because it was more shitting on Philly for being stupid and not picking Tatum.
Yo, that draft was so crazy when you think about it in hindsight. And to be fair, like had Josh Jackson not said F you to Danny Ainge, who knows if he takes Tatum? You know what I mean? So it's like they were flying there.
And Phoenix, or my bad, Tatum thought he was going to Phoenix.
Yeah. And it's just like had Magic just not been in love with the storyline of Zoe, you know what I mean? Like Tatum thought he was going to Phoenix. Josh Jackson was trying to force his way to not go to Boston while Danny and them were on a plane heading that way. Like the Lakers really didn't.
Though. It worked out perfect for everybody because
you know what I'm saying, it's just crazy. Like I feel like we got way more insight to that draft than most drafts, like from the 1 through 5, how that went down.
I think because it involved Danny Ainge. You know, but because Danny Ainge was the one orchestrating, masterminding the shit, you know, and Magic's involved. So
yeah, Lakers Celtic element, and it's like Danny had.
It was like, when was the last time it was 2-3?
Yeah, and like Danny had, it was funny because Danny
or 1-2, whatever it was.
They had refresh my memory. I think I got it though. Boston had the first pick, right? They traded back with Philly, right?
Yep. They got an extra pick, and they got to pick 3rd.
And the best part about that is 1, they knew they weren't taking Fultz. 2, they knew they weren't taking Zoe, and they knew Philly was taking Fultz. So essentially, in their eyes, they got the number 1 pick with the 3rd.
They got the number 1 pick with an extra pick on top.
Yeah, that year. So yeah, that year was a Danny Ainge masterclass. Like that one was.
And the year before that was the Jaylen Brown year with Ingram and who was the other guy?
It was Ingram. That was the Ben Simmons year, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. I think it was
Ben Simmons. So like a lot of Laker fans are hard on the Lakers about them not taking Tatum, right? And again, I always say hindsight's 20/20. But at the time, you know, we had Ingram.
I think it worked out so good because, not to cut you off, but I think it worked out so good because he needed to go to a market like Boston or LA, you know, somewhere where it could be historical instead of just some random dude like Booker who plays in Phoenix who's good.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I completely agree with you because he has the makeup for it, and not to take away from him, but he's almost like a manufactured superstar too. The league pushes him, you know, the thing with his son, like it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? He's a very marketable kid. But the thing I say about Tatum, I like watching Tatum play. I don't have anything bad to say about his game. I said I did kind of, get on him a little bit. That's just competitive nature of just talking trash about his finals performance, but it was his first time, right? And
he's also hurt though too, but
no, that's true.
You don't push that, but that's definitely a narrative. You know what I'm saying? If your fucking wrist is fucked up, you're gonna not shoot well. But he's not using it as a crutch. It is what it is. So he's not pulling out the cast afterwards like LeBron did against the
no facts. So you got that right, and then it's like,
but it is a thing. It is a thing that happens. So he has to atone for it.
Yeah. So I've been saying, I've said for the I'm way more pickier when it comes labeling people superstars. Like I feel like that name gets tossed around too much. So I felt like they were crowning him a superstar too early. I felt he had the potential to be one. Just felt he wasn't one yet.
I felt that too. But I feel like last year and this year, I think he pretty much solidified he's in that top 5 or top 10 of whatever guys that are like the shit right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, check this out.
Oh shit! What's up, Saul? Where you at? On the beach in Colombia, son?
He's somewhere. He's probably in the air. He's gonna cut out. That dude's always like, I call him like he is like Mr. Air Miles, bro. He travel, for a guy who's not in the rap industry like you, he travels probably just as much as you.
Yeah. Like, I know guys like that. I got dudes back home that are like that. My man Urge is like that. He's just a grinder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this dude's got this passport tattooed on him. Like this dude is forever in the air, bro. But
kid.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I think it does get tossed around a lot, but I feel like he solidified himself in the last couple years. What's dope that a lot of people don't get to see because they're not in this market is that the yin and yang factor with JB and JT is like ill because what JT lacks, JB has, and then what JB lacks, JT has. Like, it's crazy. Like from personality to the game to, it's crazy. It's ill. Like it's a super ill situation.
And the best part about them is that not saying they being the Celtics. When I say they, is like everyone outside tried to tear them apart, tried to separate them, tried to pin them against each other,
But real talk, it was behind the scenes they were cool, but they weren't showing it enough in the public eye for people to let that go. So it was kind of on them. And then last year, I think they got they set the emphasis on that. I don't know if it was Ime telling them to do that, or what, but it came out more in the public, like their camaraderie and shit. So I think that's been put to bed. Plus, they never got rid of. They weren't gonna get rid of either one of them, no matter what people were saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like when there's my man DJ. What up, DJ? Anyone that watches this now or later, go check out Lakers in 5. He's got a great show, and I'm on that panel all the time. He's one of the best ones out there. Appreciate you, DJ. So my thing is so with those two, it's kind of like when Russ and LeBron were at Summer League together, and they kind of ignored, they kind of played to the cameras and ignored each other, and everyone kind of went with their own thing. And then like the next week or so, they were together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the narrative gets out there, the public perception gets out there. Just because there's cameras everywhere now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you can't even bro. Imagine like dudes have situations with their people all the time, right? It's not on. I'm not talking to this dude right now. Just go away. I'll see you tomorrow, type thing, right? But we don't got cameras in our face every day.
They never were not cool. It's just that they weren't like huggy or like very like teammatey in the public eye or on the bench or whatever. I feel like they were just figuring this shit out. The shit was a wild like 4 or 5 years for them dudes, man. Yeah, they were like the young guys kind of like in the way because they got so good so quick. Like when Kyrie and Hayward were here and they were the vets, but they were hurt. You know what I'm saying? Then they got IT. They got fucking Kemba. They got, you know what I'm saying? They got Tristan Thompson fucking shit up. They got Marcus Morris fucking shit up in the locker room. Like, they've had a tumultuous 4 or 5 years until the last 2 years where, all right, you guys are the guys. You guys got the keys to the situation, and now they're flourishing. You know what I'm saying?
And from mine too, like at the time, like I even like questioned. I told you like that's a lot of money for Jalen when they extended him, but you know that at the time,
In hindsight, that's just a bargain.
I told
you it was a bargain at the time too.
No,
I knew it. I was like, yo, they got him for this. It's about to go triple.
You know what your words were, and it makes sense now, and you're absolutely right with it. It was like they paid him now for what he's gonna do. It doesn't justify yet, but you'll see. And then and it ended up being exactly that. Because I was like, yo,
it's a bargain contract now. I think he signed for like $110 at the time.
That was stupid bargain contract. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So at the time, like, because I mean, I've always
like 4 years on like an option because they own him his bird rights or whatever, right?
And if that man could just learn to dribble, man.
Yeah, shit.
Because he does.
He fucking crossed the shit out of Kyrie yesterday or whatever it was, and shot the 3 in his face.
Yeah. Well, with him,
behind the back crossover 3 fadeaway in his grill.
With him, people kind of like challenge me all the time when I say I feel like I don't feel like Jalen. I don't feel like Jalen is better than Tatum, but I feel he's a better all around player than Tatum. And
I feel like he's a better all around player than Tatum too. But then JT has these like games where he got like 12 boards and like
well he's developing
7 assists and like 40 points. You're like, damn, like.
And Tatum looks leaner and bigger at the same time this year. You know what I mean? Like he's
leaner. He'll effortlessly get a 30-point game. Like he'll have a bad game and he'll have 31. Like it's crazy.
And what's crazy is this is where sometimes when I look at the stats and I'm like, dude, this shit doesn't line up to what I'm seeing. Because technically, Tatum has a better defensive rating than Jaylen Brown. Technically,
Jalen's having a down year on defense this year. But it's because his offense is better and he's asked to do more now offensively with Joe, who's a more offensive-minded coach than Ime, who was a defensive coach, where Jalen's defense last year was way better than it is this year.
But for my money, if it's the final possession of a game, I'm still and it's Marcus Smart is not an option. I'm putting JB over JT on the guy to shut him down at the end of a game. That would still be my.
I'm probably putting Marcus on him, and then JB comes with the help immediately. Like, you know.
I'm saying if Marcus Smart is out, my choice would be JB over Tatum.
Tatum's having a better defensive year this year though than JB for sure. But I think overall he's a way better two-way player than Tatum.
And we'll touch on a couple more teams real quick, then we'll get out of here. Miami's cooked. I don't think they have anything left. I don't know if there's any deals that get made or anything, but I don't see anything happening there as far as them being a threat.
Miami? Miami? I think they want to do something because they want to get in the mix. They don't want to just be like middle of the road with these like random dudes like fucking Tyler Hero and these fucking Herbs, you know?
Yeah, that contract.
I think they want to move on from Robinson's contract. I think
that contract is crazy, dude.
Yeah, they were bugging with that.
I can't believe they did that deal.
Who else can they move over there? Oh, Lowry. They're not happy with Lowry. They want to get rid of that contract too. So they got some things they can move.
Yo. I saw this today. You know, I'm always clowning on this. This probably the best thing I've seen all day. You know that Udonis Haslem has a no trade clause?
Yeah, I saw that. Yo,
my man, I tell you,
get the hell out of here with that guy.
The Udonis stuff, and I look. It's just something I don't know why I enjoy it so much. The Udonis has had a great career, like yada yada yada. But ever since just that whole like, have you seen like the last couple of times he's checked into a game when it immediately happens? Like, have you seen?
No, but I saw him trying to guard Tatum, and Tatum just saw barbecue chicken in front of his face.
No. So like. You can see this. I'll send you some clips. Like, there's been a couple of times where like, all right, we're putting you in the game, and like, he's like at the scores table picking like who he's just gonna go like flagrant, like who he's gonna go commit a flagrant foul on. He has no intention of playing, bro.
Who is gonna cross me so bad that I have to clothesline him?
Yeah, and he goes in there. He never even touches the ball. I don't even think like a full shot clock like got run, and he's just laying some.
They got a few things that they got to get like rid of in order for them to be a viable contender again.
Yeah, they just
they got to get rid of Robinson. Got to get rid of Lowry. Got to get rid of Udonis Haslem. I like Strus playing with Jimmy and Bam, but he might be too good to where he gets in a deal, you know?
Yeah.
Because he played like shit here because he started off as a C.
Yeah.
He didn't make the team because he couldn't hit a fucking shot. So
you know who was sorry, go ahead. I got
no, go ahead.
You know who was killing us last night? Like killing us. Fucking Naismith, bro.
Yeah, dude.
He was killing us last night. I was like, what is
he was gonna develop, it just was gonna take too long. It was kind of like the Romeo shit. Like they were waiting and like literally every shot Naismith took was like it was super scrutinized because he was picked in that spot and was like supposedly the best shooter in the draft, and he wasn't like connecting like at all. So the only way he could get on the floor with Ime as the coach was to play D. So he became a pretty good defender, right? And then even then, he wasn't getting no burn. He had to get burned by hustle plays. So he would just literally the fans nicknamed him Crash when he was here, because he would just come in and just like dive like on the floor and just dive everywhere just to get whatever, just to get in the mix of shit. You know,
just took Gerald Wallace's nickname, huh? No, but that might be.
He went to, when they traded him, he went to a situation where he could get on the floor, play mad minutes, find his groove, you know?
Nah, for real. But what do you think happens with Pritchard?
I think he gets moved after the season. I like the kid. It's just he got Marcus in front of him. He got Derek White in front of him. He got Brogdon in front of him. Like, what's he gonna do? And he's short.
Yeah.
All those guys are over 6'2" or whatever. Like, what, literally what can niggas do besides put him in garbage time or when he needs some energy off the bench?
He's just going to be one of those. He's one of those dudes is going to play well somewhere else, and you're going to be like, we just didn't have a place for him. You know what I mean? Yeah,
literally. Naismith had a spot here because he was a wing and he was long, you know what I'm saying? And he could shoot, quote unquote, but Peyton was a better shooter than him, and he's a better player than him. It's just that this dude got the length, bro.
And
I think Pritchard ends up getting moved after the season, reluctantly, because people like him on the team. All the players love him. He's a hard worker. He's dope. Like, he's really dope. He's just the odd man out.
Yeah. Yo, DJ, I think I was on your stream. Yeah, last time we were watching it. Him and Nemhard were like killing us yesterday. So, like, once again, Lakers of 5 does a Nemhard. Like I said, dudes who don't even. There's dudes on indie like.
Nah. Who's the guy they got? Who's the rookie they got? That's crazy.
Oh, it's that dude that was running his. Damn it! I kept saying it last night. It's a dude who was calling out LeBron in the draft, right? Saying he had to prove to him that he's a great player.
Yeah, that kid is nice, bro.
No, he's good. No,
we played them, and he had like, I don't know, he had like 30 points and shit. Like, yo, he's good. They're good. They're just like a scrappy squad. I think if they got like one dude, like say they got like a fucking DeMar DeRozan type dude, they can make some noise because Halliburton's the beat.
Yo, they were saying like, let's get DeRozan to LA, and I'm not saying this as I just laugh, but it's not funny. I'm not saying this in a joking way, but the man already has mental health issues. We can't have him come to LA. Imagine him trying to deal with what Russ dealt with last year. And I've said this numerous times.
Yeah, or just the microscope that is playing with LeBron.
At home, like coming back home.
And in LA, and at home. All three of those things are crazy. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think he would work there. I think Kyrie would work there because he's like that, like he's like that like Hollywood type dude, you know what I'm saying? Weird, eccentric, you know, kooky kind of dude, you know. I think
Yeah,
Kyrie
but
could work there, but I don't know what that team looks like. You know what I'm
we
saying?
we paid them back though, because they came back on us like down 20 something, and then I think we were down 15 on them last night when we came back and beat them. So that felt good to kind of get them back for what they did to us, because that was probably the most bullshit game of the year. Like the Boston one was rough, bro. Like that. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not just saying that just because it was the Celtics. And
What
I would
about
have
the
said that.
Boston one in LA? That one was rough too.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But it's like I say this too. I feel like some other team's going to get penalized for that didn't deserve it, right? They're going to give the Lakers some type of call, and it's like it's not, and it sucks because it's not that other team's fault, and it's not Boston's fault that the refs didn't call the foul. You know what I mean? It's not the Celtics' fault. Like this wasn't. It had nothing to do with the Celtics. Like I was just having fun going back and forth with Ed. Shout out Easy Money.
How about this? How about the most Ed thing ever the other day when the Celtics are playing the Knicks and there's 4 seconds left and Jaylen Brown got to shoot 2 free throws down 1 and he misses both free throws and we lose the game. First nigga tweeted me is Ed. 2 days later, Jaylen Brown has a free throw to tie the game against the Lakers with 2 seconds left. Hits it, ties the game after the and 1. Remember?
Yeah.
No tweet, no nothing. Then he takes over. He takes over in the overtime. No tweet, no nothing.
Because he believes that Tatum is like head and shoulders above JB. Right?
Oh, for sure. So anything where Brown is messing up, he's gonna say something. And if Brown's doing great, nothing.
Man,
he's all about the light skins, bro.
Oh man, I love talking ball with Ed, man. Shout out to Easy Money ST again, man. That's our brother, man. But it's always fun. That's what made it tough too, is because they called that foul right before like they didn't call ours. And then man, come on, everything was good. Man, Pat Bev had a tip dunk. How do we not win that game? Like, bro, come on.
Pat Bev was killing us. First of all, we're up 3. We give him a wide open shot. He hits it, ties the game. It's a 3. Then he gets then we're up 2. And then he gets the tip dunk, ties the game again.
Bro, did you see everyone's face after he had that Schroeder?
And you know what it was too? There was no. We didn't have Robert Williams or Marcus wasn't playing.
No, I know. I mean,
I think it was. What's his name? Grant. I think it was Grant that was guarding, or Brogdon that was guarding the. They were trying to get the rebound when Pat Bev did that.
That was kind of like the battle of the 6-man too, that game. And Brogdon had a really good one, and Russ really didn't. You know what I mean? So it was like,
Brogdon's killing him, bro. He's
man.
Like, when Tatum, like today, I don't know what the score is right now or the thing, right? But we started off, we were up. It was 7-0, right? Phoenix didn't score in the first 4 minutes. Then Phoenix outscores us by like stupid numbers, right? Yeah. Tatum was like 0 for 6. So the only 2 guys that were scoring were JB and Brogdon. So he keeps the ship like steady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, Brogdon's solid.
Sometimes it could go one-sided. He like steadies the ship. You know, when he comes in, one lineup that works with us is 3 bench guys, Tatum and him. 2 guys that can bring the ball up, and then 3 other shooters, or like Cornet or something who could stretch the floor, you know.
And you guys got him for like nothing.
I mean, we basically traded the entire bench that we had to Indiana to get him. It was literally the whole bench except Pritchard.
But it was like bench, like 8-person on. It wasn't like Marcus Smart. It wasn't like, it wasn't like your main bench people. They were replaceable parts.
By that time, Marcus was starting. So it was like, all right, we traded for Derek White, so it was not going to be White, and it was not going to be Pritchard. And that's it. Literally, everybody else on the bench went to Indiana. Like literally, it was like 6 players, like Brogdon.
Yeah, he's pretty well.
And Neesmith was one of them. and literally a bunch of other random dudes that I don't even remember their
I
names.
think
There was one.
like a pick
There was
that may
one
not even
dude on
convey.
our bench that ended up going to Indiana that literally all his highlights was him doing like wild dances to like shit that like Tatum or Brown would do in the game. Literally all his highlights was him like dancing on the bench.
Like a Ronnie Turioff.
And he was in the deal. He was in the deal for Brogdon.
Salaries matter, man.
So that's all that matters, bro. Oh, you know what it was? It was no Derek White, no Grant Williams. Yeah. No Pritchard, but everybody else.
Yeah,
went.
So they took the whole back end of your bench for a 6 Man of the Year candidate.
Exactly.
And then those other guys
are all dudes that wasn't going to play anyway.
Yeah, and you could just replace all those other guys with minimum contracts.
And then they got rid of Romeo in the Derek White deal last year during the deadline.
I like that trade when they did it. I remember saying, "Wow, that was that." I mean, I think they gave up a first rounder, right? That was a little pricey, but he does so many things for
Brad,
a team.
Yeah, Brad don't give a damn like about it. Like Danny, Danny hoards the picks, and Brad is like, whatever. We'll OKC, you want a draft pick for us to take back Horford off your hands? Here you go.
yeah. Like he's so different. Like he doesn't hoard picks, and he's not in love with small guards. So he's like a complete different mindset than Danny Ainge, which is probably a good thing. He was on the sideline.
He's like, yo, this is what's gonna work. This is what's gonna work in the league. These small guys ain't gonna work unless you're fucking Steph Curry.
Yeah, no doubt. But
you know, man, real talk.
I know it's coming up.
What do you think about the race to the Wembayama?
Man, so like for me, yo, Kareem, what up? I see you, man. Appreciate the support, bro. Kareem Report. I'm on his channel all the time too.
Oh, word
great,
up,
great. He's a New Yorker from Harlem. The rocks with the Lakers. That's what's up.
Okay.
Deadeye's gonna get out of here. Actually, I already jumped the gun already. There. Look at him. Kareem and DJ. If any of you guys want to pop in, let me know. I'll drop the link. Damn, okay. It comes back right now.
My bad.
I forgot the question you asked me before you.
The Wembayama. What do you think about the sweepstakes?
You know, my theory about him was, my theory with him was I thought like the hype was so big on him because he was kind of a myth. And then as soon as they gave us access to all his games, like the NBA app, as with anything, as soon as you give someone access to see everything and it's not really a myth, people lose attention to it. So I feel like I haven't heard his name in a while, like at all.
Like people just like once it gets near the end of the season, the hype will pick back up.
Yeah.
Whatever they have, whatever tournament they have, if it's whatever it is that happens in between now and June or July, when the draft's in July, right?
Draft is in June. It's right after the finals. Prior, the free agency starts July 1st. Well, as far as
when's the lottery? The
lottery is usually in the conference finals time, like in May and end of May, like around Memorial Day, if my memory is right.
Yeah.
And then the draft is always
the hype will pick back up around that time. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's gonna have some nationally televised games soon. That'll re-hype the hype up. But I like the other kid too. The kid that's in the G League, Scooter, whatever.
Yeah, Scooter on the Ignite G League Ignite. Yeah. I've learned a long time ago to just, when it comes to like prospects and rookies, especially the really tall, lanky ones, like with Vic, like he just screams like leg injuries to me. You know what I mean? I hope it doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is you can't assume that a kid who's never played in the NBA, like really who since Braun really, has delivered on that hype, you know what I mean? To that level. So it's like, we've heard it before. OJ Mayo was supposed to be the one, you know what I mean? Andrew Wiggins was like supposed to be like the one, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You could even say like even Sebastian Telfair for a minute back in the day. Remember him? Remember all the hype that kid
I don't know about dudes coming out and being the one, but definitely being a dude that could like change your whole shit, like John Morant. I think that could happen.
But no. I mean, I honestly, to be truthful, I'm probably not informed enough to speak as much on him because I really haven't watched him play a lot, to be honest. Like,
bro, it's like KD with handle. It's like KD.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like whole games. I'm talking about whole games. Everyone sees highlight reels, right? And like you can see highlight reels for like so much Parker.
I know what you mean. Like what? What's the game
Yeah.
shape like? What's
Yeah, I like
the
scouting dudes. What do teams do to take away from him? Like
yeah,
what
yeah,
happens when he gets
yeah,
bumped? You know, does he finish with
yeah.
contact? Like things, those type of things. I like scouting more than looking at highlights
I don't
because
think he's gonna be a finished product by the time he gets to the league. But I think like all like Giannis who came in mass slim, if he puts on some weight like that at that height with those skills, he could be an anomaly.
no, I think he can be, and I hope for the kid and his family that he is. It's just I've just seen like Greg Oden was like it for me. After that, I was like, man, like I
Nah,
feel so
I've
bad for
seen
that
too
dude.
many.
Yeah,
I've seen too many besides Odin. What's the
like I
dude? Anthony
remember.
Anthony Bennett.
Oh yeah. But he wasn't even hyped. That was the craziest first round overall pick I've ever seen. Like
Yeah, it's
that
crazy. They
was
had like 4 cracks at it and then fucked up like 2 of them.
yeah. Like, but that was just like crazy when I saw that.
Shows like the
But
Buffalo Bills, bro.
you of all people. So just this is important, and this is why I hate tanking, and this is why I say when you got to be careful because it rarely works for those who go all in on it. You know all about the Tim Duncan sweepstakes and what happened there.
Oh my God, don't even.
You that's still that you guys still like. I don't want to say crime. That's what I'm saying. You guys still like that still hurts, right? Like that's
Oh yeah,
still
that's definitely in the long shitstorm that was like from Len Bias to Kevin Garnett. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like that is you guys man, you guys had some of that luck, bro. From Reggie Lewis to Lem Bias to
Yo,
dude,
crazy.
like
'Cause it was supposed to be Len and Reggie that took the torch from Bird and
yeah,
the Chief and McHale, and it ended up not even happening at all. And then we were supposed to get Tim Duncan, and then that didn't happen. And then luckily, randomly as fuck, because he wasn't really on our radar at the time, because we didn't think we could get him. We thought he would be a top 3 pick. Was Paul falling to 10th
yeah. I
in the
remember that
draft,
year.
and that was the first sign of okay, things are starting to turn around, at least luck wise.
Yeah, because you guys bailed on Chauncey too early. And then didn't you draft Mercer and Chauncey in the same draft? One was third and one was sixth.
Yes, but that
Yeah.
was the dark years of Patino. Patino did
Not
that.
coming through that door. Yeah, that's up there too.
Patino's the one who drafted them and traded them.
Yeah, Patino was trash, bro. Him and Calipari were
both. But that was old management. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The guys that own it now took over, I think, in like 2003, like after the initial playoff push in 2002, 2003 with where we got to the conference finals.
Like when y'all got when Danny became like the official head of basketball, y'all hired Doc. You guys had like one of the worst records ever, followed by a championship, right? I think that was the biggest. I don't think anyone's topped that since then. The biggest turnaround record wise, right, from 2007 to 2008. They win the chip.
In 2006, there was rumors about trading Paul.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember out here it was big for a while that we thought we were going to get him for Lamar. Like it was legit. Like,
he was like coming back home and blah blah blah.
Yeah, like that was a legit thing, and we were so kind of frustrated with Lamar at that point because he just was never reaching his potential.
Yeah, he never panned out.
Yeah, so it was and like
he was supposed to like help after the Shaq situation.
Yeah, man, that guy was so there was a game that next year we traded Shaq in 2004. So it was like 04-05 that season, and it was like Garnett, and it was a TNT game.
It was after the 04 finals is when you traded him, right?
Yeah. So it was like 04-05 season, and there was a game where Odom and Garnett were going back, and it was like, bro, like if it was a battle rap, talking like bar for bar, like it went to overtime, and LO was out there just taking it from the top of the key. They went back and forth so many times. And it was like, there it is. He just never turned it on enough. You know what I mean? Like he just never.
Yeah, he never had that. He never had that thing, you know?
That dude was so skilled though, man. But
he was nasty.
But
there was a few guys, man. There was a few guys that randomly ended up wearing the purple and gold that were like really good, but they just didn't do what they were supposed to do there. Same with the Celtics. We could never really get a dope free agent from, what's wild is that if you really think about it, it was like from Bill Walton to like, like KG. Or my bad,
well,
like
KG wasn't a free agent though. KG wasn't a free agent.
My bad, Ray. Oh, my
Ray
bad.
wasn't
No,
a free agent.
no,
No,
Al,
it was like Gordon
Al,
Hayward,
Al.
bro. Oh, Al, yeah, because Al was the first one. Because like Gordon
Al was
Hayward,
the first.
yeah,
So
because even
Bill
IT
Walton
was a
and
trade.
Al, bro. Bill
That's
Walton
nuts.
and Al. Because before that, we had everybody else we would get would be washed by the time we got them. You know what I'm saying? Shaq, Dominique. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it was. And well, believe it or not, the Lakers were not the craziest free agent destination
that's what I'm
either.
saying. You got
Shaq
guys that were like underrated that were rated good that they didn't live up to the hype, you know.
Or we got dudes past their prime. Like everyone swears that 2004 team, like Malone and Peyton, were in their prime. You know what I mean? But but what I'm saying
Malone
is like
was definitely washed by then.
Yeah, so it was
that was his like 20th year.
Yeah, it was his last year. People forget he retired then. Like and he tore his knee like
literally his 20th year.
And what's his other than Shaq, like Shaq like was the really, because like when you think about it, it really was nothing else after that. Everything else was via trade. Powell was via trade. We got Dwight via trade. Like between Shaq and LeBron. So you're talking about they got Shaq the summer of '96, and we got LeBron the summer of 2018. You know what I mean? We really didn't have a marquee free agent signing. Dog, you want to talk about crazy? Like we got Shaq. LA, and I know LA because this could take the hip hop for a second, but we'll get out of it in a minute. LA got Shaq, Kobe, and Tupac within like 3 months of each other. Wild time, bro. You want to talk about a time to be alive, but that's a separate conversation. But just think about that. We had so like when Shaq got here, they was ripping California Love, right? That was like Shaq's.
And right after that, Chronic 2001 came out.
Little after that was like 2001 came out 99. But
that's what I'm saying. 98, 99, those 2 years right there. Great.
Yeah, but it was like, but that LA.
Oh, my bad. I'm thinking Pac was like 96. So
yeah, there was All Eyes on Me, like the drop. But it was like, man, like facts, man. Like, but anyways, like I said, that could be a whole episode on that year span out here, bro. But anyways, I know you got, speaking of hip hop, I know you got work to do. You got to get out of here. So appreciate you again for making time. And
all day, anytime. Let's do this again soon.
We'll chop it up probably Sunday, right? We'll just
Sunday. And let's try to get one in before the deadline.
Yeah. I know I said we was gonna talk Super Bowl, but ran out of time, and we got time to do that. And appreciate everyone.
We got time to do that. And I think it's like the two best teams playing, but the hype is like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, we got Mahomes in there. So, I mean, Mahomes is in, and I think like the Eagles, people have been calling them overrated all year and they made it there. So they're legit, bro.
No, and I know, like I said, I think both the two best teams made it, but it's just the hype is just not there for me. I don't know.
Give it next week when Media Row steps up, Radio Row, and everyone's just dominating it. You'll get into it. I
like the narratives going around. You know, it's like Mahomes in there, you got Kelsey in there, and then you got Hurts, and you got the town of Philly in it is good for the shit. You know,
yeah.
Like having New York or the Patriots in there, like it's like a good it's a good market. You know,
like I'm nowhere near ready to. People are going crazy comparing Mahomes to Brady already, but I think he's on. I mean, the path that he's on is pretty crazy. Nah, yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. But I can separate.
Max
yeah. Max Kellerman is wilding, bro. But like I said, you can separate the two and appreciate both the greatness of what Pat has done the last 5 years is pretty nuts.
He's a beast.
But I'm not willing.
Everybody knows that.
I'm not willing to take it there. I got. You know about. I mean, I don't think I'm a dude that gets blocked a lot. But I literally was making a case for Mahomes being like potentially the next Brady, and I got blocked by like 4 or 5 like high end New England people whose like opinions I enjoyed watching, and I'm like, bro, like I can't even see. And you know one of them. I'm not gonna drop a name, but it was just like I'm like, damn.
What do you think about hold up. What do you think about Kraft extending the hand for Brady to like finish here?
I mean, I don't.
The 1 day contract.
Oh, that's got to be automatic, right? I mean, that's football started that. Right?
He's in town too. They did a movie for him, the 80 for Brady or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's him in the movie. I know it's like a bunch of old ladies, but He went to the premiere. He went to the premiere the other day with Edelman and Gronk and who else? There was one other player. I forget who it was, but
yeah, it wouldn't feel right if they did it any other way. Like he's gotta I mean, come on, man. Like that's
yeah. Oh, they're gonna.
The
I don't know if he's gonna do that, but if he doesn't, I mean, the number's gonna be retired here immediately.
Yeah, I mean, he was over 20 years there, right? I mean,
yep.
Like, bro, like,
and nobody hates him here. So I don't.
They'd be crazy.
It's really on Brady if he's gonna do it or not.
Yeah, they'd be crazy to hate him, bro.
And Kraft loves him like a son, so he's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants for him.
Yeah, no doubt. I think they should. But anywho, we'll wrap on Sunday. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone that tapped in. DJ Lakers in 5. Appreciate you. Kareem Report, LA Sports Live, BZ808. Appreciate all y'all. Like I said, I haven't done this for a while, so I appreciate you contributing to us getting back into this. We're doing this more often.
Sir.
And, salute. And Deadeye, appreciate you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Salute, brother. Much love.
Bro.
Peace.